Iran just said no ceasefire, no negotiations, no peace talks, just war. This morning, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi appeared on NBC News. He was asked directly, is Iran willing to negotiate a ceasefire? His answer, absolutely not. We are not negotiating with terrorists. The United States attacked us. They killed our supreme leader. They destroyed our cities, and now they want to talk. No, we will fight until the invaders leave. But here's what makes this even more shocking. Just 48 hours ago, Iran secretly reached out to the CIA through back channels asking for ceasefire talks. Diplomats in Oman delivered the message. Iran wanted to negotiate. They wanted the war to stop, and Trump's response when asked about it today. Too late. Most of the people we would have negotiated with are dead. We killed them. So Iran is publicly saying we won't negotiate. But privately, they've been begging for talks. Trump is saying we already won. There's no one left to negotiate with. And the war is entering its second week with no end in sight. 6 American soldiers are now dead. Gas prices jumped 11 cents overnight to $3.11 per gallon. Iran launched 2,000 drones and 500 missiles at us and Israeli targets yesterday, and both sides are digging in for a prolonged conflict. This is Strategic Signal Report. I'm Sarah Mitchell. Over the next 11 minutes, I'm breaking down Iran's public rejection of ceasefire versus their private plea for talks, what Trump meant by everyone's dead, the 6 US soldiers who've been killed, why Iran launched 2,500 attacks yesterday, what this means for gas prices and the economy, and whether this war can possibly end or whether we're locked into months of fighting. Let's go. Let me show you exactly what Iran's foreign minister said this morning on NBC, because his language is defiant and uncompromising. The interview was conducted by NBC's chief foreign correspondent Richard Engel. Here's the key exchange. Engel, Minister Araghchi, is Iran willing to negotiate a ceasefire with the United States? Araghchi, absolutely not. The United States launched an unprovoked attack on our nation. They assassinated our supreme leader, a religious figure revered by millions. They bombed our cities. They killed civilians. They destroyed our infrastructure. And now they have the audacity to ask if we want to talk. The answer is no, Engel, but your military is being destroyed. Your navy is gone. Your air force is grounded. Thousands of Iranians are dead. How long can you sustain this? Araghchi, as long as necessary. We are not weak. We are not defeated. We have missiles. We have drones. We have the will of 90 million people who refuse to surrender to Western imperialism. This war will continue until American forces leave the region completely. Engel, so no ceasefire negotiations at all. Araghchi, we do not negotiate with terrorists. The United States is the terrorist, not us. That's Iran's public position. Total defiance. No talks. No ceasefire. Fight to the end. But here's what NBC didn't know during that interview and what the Washington Post reported just hours later. Iran had already reached out to the CIA seeking peace talks. According to reporting from the Washington Post and Reuters, on March 4th, 2 days ago, Iranian officials contacted the CIA through intermediaries in Oman. Oman has historically served as a neutral mediator between the US and Iran. During the Obama administration, Oman facilitated secret talks that led to the Iran nuclear deal. So when Iran wants to talk to the US quietly, they go through Oman. The message Iran sent through Omani diplomats was simple. We want to negotiate a ceasefire. We're willing to discuss terms, but we need talks to start immediately before more damage is done. The message reportedly included these specific points. 1. Iran would agree to stop attacking US bases if the US stopped airstrikes. 2. Iran would allow the Strait of Hormuz to reopen to commercial shipping. 3. Iran would not retaliate for Khamenei's death if the US agreed to withdraw forces from the region within 90 days. 4. Iran wanted immediate talks, no preconditions, no public announcements, just quiet diplomacy. This is a significant departure from Iran's public rhetoric. Publicly, they're defiant. Privately, they're desperate. The CIA received the message. They forwarded it to the White House, and according to sources who spoke to the Washington Post, Trump's response was, "No, we're winning. Why would we stop now?" That message was delivered back to Iran through Oman yesterday, and this morning Iran's foreign minister went on NBC and said we're not negotiating. So Iran is saving face. They offered to talk. Trump said no, so now Iran is publicly saying they never wanted talks anyway. President Trump was asked about Iran's secret outreach during a press conference this afternoon, and his answer was chilling. Here's what he said. Look, Iran reached out a couple days ago. They wanted to talk. They wanted a ceasefire, but here's the problem. Most of the people we would have negotiated with are already dead. We killed them, Trump continued. Khamenei? Dead. We got him on day one. President Raisi. Dead. Same strike. Half the clerics who choose the supreme leader. Dead. Israel bombed their meeting. The head of the Revolutionary Guard. Dead. Missile strike 2 days ago. Iran's top generals. Dead. Airstrikes all week. So who do we negotiate with? There's no one left in charge. Iran doesn't have a government anymore. It's chaos over there. So yeah, they wanted to talk, but it's too late. We've already won. That statement, everyone's dead, is Trump openly admitting that the US and Israel have pursued a strategy of assassination and decapitation. Not just military targets, leadership, the people who make decisions, the people who could negotiate peace, and Trump is right. Iran's leadership has been devastated. Supreme Leader Khamenei, killed February 28th. President Raisi, killed on February 28th. 15-plus Assembly of Experts clerics, killed March 5th in Israeli strike. General Hossein Salami Erg, commander, reportedly killed March 4th unconfirmed. Multiple ministers and senior officials killed in strikes throughout the week. So who's running Iran right now? Nobody knows. There's no clear leader. The government is in disarray, and Trump is saying, we can't negotiate because there's no one to negotiate with. While Iran's leadership is being eliminated, American soldiers are dying too, and the number just increased. The Pentagon announced this morning that 6 US soldiers have now been killed in the Iran war. That's up from 4 yesterday. Here are the newly identified casualties. Major Ryan O'Donnell, 38, from Des Moines, Iowa, Army, killed March 5th in a drone strike on a U.S. base in Kuwait. Married, father of 3. His wife posted on Facebook, "My hero is gone. Taken by a war we shouldn't be fighting." Chief Warrant Officer Carlos Mendoza, 29, from San Diego, California, Marine Corps, killed March 5th in the same drone strike, engaged to be married in June. His told CNN, "We were planning our wedding. Now I'm planning his funeral." These deaths bring the total to 6 American soldiers killed since the war began 8 days ago. February 28th, Staff Sergeant Michael Torres, 29, San Antonio, Texas, March 1st. Corporal Jessica E. 24, Portland, Oregon, March 2nd. Specialist David Chen, 22, Los Angeles, California, March 3rd. Sergeant Declan Coady, 20, Iowa, March 5th. Major Ryan O'Donnell, 38, Iowa, and Chief Warrant Officer Carlos Mendoza, 29, California. 6 families destroyed, 6 funerals, 6 flag-draped coffins coming home, and according to Pentagon officials, dozens more soldiers have been injured, some critically. The exact number is classified, but estimates range from 40 to 60 wounded. Trump says we're winning, but American families are grieving. Yesterday, March 5th, Iran launched the largest single-day retaliation of the war so far, and the numbers are staggering. According to US Central Command and Israeli Defense Forces, 2,000 drones launched from Iranian territory toward US bases in Iraq, Syria, Kuwait, and Bahrain, and toward Israeli cities. 500 ballistic missiles fired at similar targets. That's 2,500 total attacks in one day. Here's how effective they were. US air defenses shot down approximately 1,850 drones and 470 missiles. That's a 93% interception rate. But 50 drones and 30 missiles got through. Damage to US bases. 3 drones hit the base in Kuwait where Major O'Donnell and Chief Warrant Officer Mendoza were killed. Another 7 drones hit bases in Iraq, causing damage but no additional deaths. Damage in Israel. 20 missiles hit Israeli territory. Most struck open areas, but 3 hit residential neighborhoods in Tel Aviv and Haifa. 15 Israelis killed, over 60 injured. So Iran's attacks are getting through. Not most of them, but enough to kill people. Enough to cause damage, enough to show they're still fighting. And here's what makes this dangerous. Iran has hundreds of thousands more drones. They manufacture them domestically, they're cheap to produce, and they can keep launching them for weeks or months. The US has to intercept every single drone. Iran only needs a few to get through to cause casualties. That asymmetry favors Iran in a prolonged conflict. Let's talk about what this means for your wallet, because gas prices jumped overnight. Yesterday, the national average for regular gasoline was $3.0 per gallon. This morning, it's $3.11 per gallon. That's an 11-cent increase in 24 hours. Why the spike? 2 reasons. 1, Iran's 2,500 attacks yesterday spooked oil markets. Traders saw the massive retaliation and thought, this war isn't ending soon. The Strait of Hormuz might stay closed longer. Oil supply is threatened. Prices go up. 2, reports that Iran rejected ceasefire talks. When the NBC interview aired this morning showing Iran's defiance, oil traders realized there's no diplomatic off-ramp. The war continues, maybe 4 weeks. Prices jumped again. Oil is now trading at $183 per barrel, up from $177 yesterday, and analysts are predicting gas could hit $3.5 per gallon within a week if the war doesn't de-escalate. For most Americans, that means an extra $5.7 per fill-up, an extra $20-30 per month just for gas over the course of a prolonged war, hundreds of dollars in additional costs. And gas prices affect everything else. Shipping costs go up, food prices go up, inflation rises, so Iran's refusal to negotiate isn't just a military decision. It's an economic decision that affects every American's budget. Let me explain why Iran is publicly rejecting ceasefire talks even though they privately asked for them. It's about perception and internal politics. Inside Iran, the hardliners, the Revolutionary Guard, the clerics, the true believers, they don't want to negotiate with the U.S. ever. They see negotiation as surrender. They see it as weakness. If Iran's government publicly said we want to talk to the Americans, those hardliners would revolt. They might stage a coup. They might assassinate whoever suggested talks. So Iran's foreign minister has to publicly say we will never negotiate. He has to appear defiant. He has to rally the Iranian people and the military behind continued resistance. But behind the scenes, Iran's pragmatists, the diplomats, the economists, the people who understand Iran is being destroyed there trying to find a way out. They contacted the CIA. They offered terms. They want the war to stop before Iran collapses completely. But Trump said no, and now Iran is stuck. They can't publicly negotiate because it would look like surrender, but they can't win militarily because the U.S. is too powerful. So what do? They keep fighting. They launch drones and missiles. They kill a few Americans and Israelis. They hope international pressure forces the U.S. to stop. They hope the global economy collapses from high oil prices and the West backs down. It's a desperate strategy, but it's the only one they have left. So here's the question that matters. Can this war actually end? And the honest answer is, not anytime soon. Here's why. Iran won't negotiate publicly. As long as hardliners control the narrative inside Iran, no official ceasefire is possible. Trump won't negotiate privately. He thinks he's winning. Why stop when you're ahead? Why give Iran a lifeline when you can keep destroying their military? There's no one to negotiate with. Iran's leadership has been decimated. Even if both sides wanted talks, who represents Iran? Who has authority to make a deal? The Strait of Hormuz is still contested. As long as the strait is closed or threatened, oil prices stay high, the global economy suffers, and pressure builds on all sides to keep fighting. American casualties are rising. 6 dead, dozens wounded, and every time Iran kills Americans, public pressure on Trump to retaliate harder increases. So we're locked in, both sides attacking, neither side willing to blink, and no clear path to peace. Trump said yesterday the war could last weeks. Today, it's looking more like months. Iran's foreign minister said this morning, "We will not negotiate. We will not surrender. We will fight until the invaders leave." But 2 days ago, Iran secretly asked the CIA for ceasefire talks. They offered to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. They offered to stop attacking US bases. Trump said no, most of the people we'd negotiate with are dead. We killed them. 6 American soldiers are now dead. Iran launched 2,500 attacks yesterday. Gas prices jumped 11 cents overnight to $3.11 per gallon, and there's no end in sight. What do you think? Should Trump negotiate with Iran? Should he keep fighting until total victory? Can this war even end without one side collapsing completely? Drop your take in the comments. Subscribe to Strategic Signal Report for daily updates on the Iran war. This is the most important story in the world right now, and we're covering every angle until it ends. For Strategic Signal Report, I'm Sarah Mitchell. Iran says no to peace. Trump says it's too late for peace, and the war grinds on. We'll see you in the next briefing.